Let's keep this party moving with two more speakers, with our seventh speaker now. Mr. Darren Cotton is a community planner, a communications designer, and tool librarian. Darren has over a decade of experience pioneering the shared economy in Western New York. As founder and current executive director of the Tool Library, Darren started the organization as an all-volunteer endeavor while studying at the University at Buffalo, go Bulls, with a master's degree in urban and regional planning. Darren has spent the past 13 years working and exploring alternative models of community development and is a strong believer that you can never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a model that makes the existing model obsolete. Whoa! All right, let's welcome Darren.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Simon for warming the audience up to the idea that you don't need to own something, you just need access to it. So I'm here tonight to share with you a story about building a new economy right here in Western New York. An economy built on the power of sharing, repairing, and caring for our public spaces. It's an economy that we all have a role to play in building. We are currently faced with intersecting crises of climate emergency and global inequality. Recent reports from the UN state that humanity needs 1.7 Earths to meet our current demand of resources around the world. Our current economic system isn't working. So why not create a system where people can borrow instead of buy things? We can do more with less, and we can give more people access to a higher standard of living. This would mean a transition away from a linear economy to one where items are built to last and built to be repaired, so they can be kept in use and in circulation for as long as possible. Sharing and repairing are two powerful ways to make the transition to a circular economy, and we have on-the-ground examples right here in Western New York. We could imagine a future where most of life's material needs are provided as common resources, from suitcases to speedboats to drills. A circular economy means the transition away from the idea that mass consumption of things should be driving our economy rather than the well-being of ourselves and our communities. Take, for instance, the statistic that the average power drill is used just 13 minutes over its lifetime before it's donated, disposed of, or forgotten about. Instead of having everyone go out and buy a drill for their project, what if we could check one out as easily as we can check out a book from the library? Well, turns out you can. The Tool Library is a community-based nonprofit that gives members access to over 4,800 tools for a week at a time for as little as $30 a year. Since its founding, the Tool Library has over 1,400 active members, had its tools borrowed more than 48,000 times, saved its members more than $2.5 million, and for the first time ever, we calculated how much carbon we offset by borrowing rather than buying last year, and it was 1.2 million pounds of carbon. As one of our Tool Library members, Chris, so eloquently stated, cooperative economics is a way for folks to support one another, pool resources, and save money. The Tool Library is a form of mutual aid in that our members are also our volunteers, who are also our workshop leaders and board of directors. While everyone who participates doesn't contribute in the same way, every person has something to offer. The circular economy and mutual aid can also have a transformational impact on America's waste problem. In 2018, we generated 292 million tons of trash. We know that recycling alone is not enough. Now more than ever, we need to focus on reducing, reusing, and repairing more to build sustainable and practical waste reduction. Repair isn't often mentioned when thinking about building a more sustainable future, but when you think that 62% of broken toasters are repairable, you begin to understand the magnitude that simply fixing the things we already own can have on the world. And while the average person may lack the skills to fix their own things, we have an opportunity to rekindle a culture of repair through community events like repair cafes. Repair cafes were a way to rethink waste and transform our throwaway economy. Individuals can bring broken items to a repair cafe and work alongside volunteer fixers to try and repair the item for free. Not only do repair cafes cut down on household waste, they foster the sharing of knowledge, building of hands-on skills, and creating connections between community members. To date, we've got 38 events under our belt. We've fixed 780 items, engaged more than 1,600 people, and have prevented close to 3.5 tons of waste from ending up in the landfill. As one of our Dare to Repair fixers has shared, sometimes it's hard not to get disillusioned when watching the news, scrolling social media, or working a job just to make ends meet. Programs like Dare to Repair give us hope that another world is possible, a world where we find pleasure and meaning in helping one another. We've talked about sharing and repairing, and now we imagine building a world where communities have the tools they need to care for their shared spaces. Take, for instance, 3259 Bailey Avenue, one of close to 8,000 vacant lots that are owned by the city of Buffalo. This vacant lot was reimagined as a community garden in 2006 to remember the memory of a little girl who lost her life in a house fire. In recent years, the garden has been re-energized with the support of the Tool Library Service Days, the work of the University District Block Club Coalition, and over 350 volunteers who have shared their time in the garden. More than just picking up trash and planting trees, though, Service Days at the Tool Library are about reconnecting neighbors, harnessing the power of collective action, and building a culture of stewardship over the spaces we share. We've engaged thousands of volunteers over nearly a decade, volunteers from UB, Girl Scouts, block clubs, businesses, faith groups, and so much more. Our service days are also hands-on workshops where we teach people how to plant trees and bulbs, thousands of which have been planted in parks, community gardens, and trails thanks to these events. As our fairy garden mother and service day veteran Linda shares, these events create spaces to learn skills, use tools, and create the change we all wish to see in our own communities. And I've talked a lot about building in the figurative sense tonight, but let's talk about actual buildings. In June of 2023, after a nearly 3-year search, the Tool Library moved to our new location at 2626 Main Street. More than 4 times the size of our previous location, this is more than just a building, it's our home. And it's a springboard to make sharing, repairing, and caring the norm and not the exception in Buffalo and across Western New York. On April 24th, we'll be launching a campaign to purchase our new home. After 13 years of borrowing and building, we're ready to plant our roots and grow a new economy right here in Western New York. Ideas and projects like the Tool Library, Dare to Repair, and Service Days help us imagine a future that is profoundly more egalitarian, sustainable, generous, and humane than the moment we're in right now. Let's get building, shall we?
All right. Thank you, Darren, for those inspiring words and your dedication to community development. Man, let's give it up for Darren one more time.